Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. For today's video I'm going to be demonstrating how I created the pattern for this pair of shorts, and immediately after the tutorial for sewing the shorts is going to be uploaded. If you have any questions about anything in this tutorial or any other video I have posted so far, you can always leave your questions in the comment section. This is a pattern I created about a month ago for a very similar type of shorts, and the way I created this pattern is such that I could use it for shorts that have a front flap, whereby I will be using these two to create the flap, or for shorts that have a zip at the back. I would be recreating this exact pattern, but the shorts I'm going to make out of it is going to have a zipper at the back rather than a flap in front. These are the measurements I'll be using: waist of 25 inches, hip of 36 inches, thigh is 22 inches, the length of the shorts is 16 inches, the height of the waistband is going to be 1.5 inches, the height of the cuff is also going to be 1.5 inches, the hem measurement, and also the crotch measurement. This type of shorts are not tight fitting, they are quite loose. So for the thigh measurement, I'm not going to be using exactly 22 inches. I'm going to be adding to it. I'm going to be dividing the thigh into two to account for the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh. So divided by 2, I have 11 inches. So for the front, I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that 11 inches to give 13 inches. And for the back pattern, I'm going to be adding 4.5 inches to the 11 inches to give me 15.5, like that. Then for the hem measurements, for the front, I'm going to be using a hem width of 11 inches, and for the back I'm going to be using a hem width of 14 inches. So the total hem for the shorts is going to be 25 inches. Then for the crotch measurements, I usually do not measure them on clients. I have a formula I use for them. I use the hip divided by 4 plus 3 inches. That's the formula in order to calculate the crotch. So the hip I have here is 36. 36 divided by 4 plus 3 inches. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So when I add 3 inches to that, I will get 12 inches. So the crotch measurement I'm going to use is 12 inches. The shorts I'm creating has pleats. I don't want the pleats at the back to be as wide as the pleats in front. These shorts are going to have 4 pieces, so I'm going to be dividing the waist measurement by 4, and that will give me 6.25 inches. For the front, I want the pleats to be 4 inches wide, so I'm going to be adding 4 inches to this waist measurement. That will be 6.25 plus 4, which is 10.25. So this will be the waist measurement in front for the pattern, and for the back I'm going to be adding 3 inches. So that's 6.25 plus 3, which is 9.25 inches. We'll be starting from the front pattern, and from the top of this paper I will be coming down by 2 inches, just to mark the start of where I will be drafting. And then from the edge of the paper I will be coming in by 1 inch. Remember, this pattern is going to have a waistband, so we have to consider the waistband height. So the waistband height here is 1.5 inches. So I would be starting my measurements from this line, and this line is going to serve as the lower border of the waistline. So I'll be starting my 1.5 inch from here as I'm measuring the trouser. The first thing I would be doing is measuring out the crotch, which is 12 inches, and consequently I'll be measuring out the length of the shorts, which is 16 inches. So right here is the crotch line, and right here is the hem. The human waist is not straight, so from this side front I'll just be curving it a little bit by half an inch, curving that out by half an inch, and then right here from this half an inch point I'll be measuring out the front waist measurement, which right here is 10.25. I want to draw this exact measurement at the crotch line. So right from the edge of that side front line, I would be measuring this. This is 10.75. So I'm just going to repeat that measurement on the crotch line. 10.75 right there. So I'm going to join the line together like that, and then this, from this half inch mark, I'm going to curve it towards the side front line. Like that. The crotch line also serves as the point where we mark out the thigh measurement. So here our thigh is 22, we divided by 2 to get 11, and then for the front pattern we're adding 2 inches to the thigh, so I'm going to measure out 13 inches. Right there. Then I'm going to join this point to this straight line here with a curve. On the hemline, I'm also going to take out a half inch mark from the side front line. Note that this is not very compulsory. If you don't want to take out this half inch mark, you don't have to, but I don't want my short to just be straight at that point. That's why I'm taking out the half inch mark. So I connect that to the side front line with another curve, and then from this half inch mark I'm going to measure out the hem. The front hem measurement we have here is 11 inches, so I'm going to mark out 11 inches like that, and I'm going to join these 2 points with a curve. The last thing I would be doing is coming down from this point by half an inch. This is because the waistline is not straight too, so I'll just use my pattern master to curve that out. A little bit. I'm going to mark out the entire pattern, and then I'm going to be adding a sewing allowance of 0.5 inches to the hem, the waistline, and this center front crotch area, but I would not be adding sewing allowances to the side front line and then to this curved line right here. This is because I'm going to be adding the sewing allowances for the front to the back pattern. This is the front pattern, and we are going to need 2 of it. Now I'll be adding the half inch sewing allowances to the necessary places. This is the front pattern, and we will be going into the drafting of the back pattern. Now for the back pattern, I'm going to come down from the topmost edge of the paper by 1.5 inches as well. This is going to serve as the waistline. Then I would come in from this edge of the paper by 1.5 inches. This line is going to serve as the side back, and this line is going to serve as the waist. Now remember, there's a waistband, so we're going to start at the 1.5 inch point at the waistline, and we're going to measure out the crotch, which is 12, and the length of the shorts, which is 16. So this is the crotch and this is the hem. From the side back, I'm going to come in by half an inch for the waistline, the curve of the waistline, and I'm also going to take out half an inch at the hem. This will serve as that curve, the same curve I drew for the front pattern. And then I'm going to measure out the waist of the back pattern. The waist of the back pattern, as we have here, is 9.25, so I'm going to mark 9.25 right there. I'm going to measure the length I have here, which is 9.75. I'm going to mark out 9.75 right here. Then I'm going to draw a faint straight line to go all the way up to the top of the paper now, like that. At this waistline, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. The center back is usually higher than the center front in shorts by about 1 inch. So I'm going to connect this point here to this point here with a straight line, like that. And then I'm going to just confirm if the measurement of the waist is still the same. So it's still relatively the same, 9.25, which is fine. Then I'm going to come to the crotch line and then measure out the thigh. The thigh for the back is 15.5. So from this point, I'll be marking out 15.5. I would mark out the thigh measurement for the front. Thigh measurement for the front here is 13. I'm going to draw a curve to connect this thigh point of the front to the waistline point right there. So we have the center back. To recap what I did, on the crotch line I measured out the thigh measurement for the back, which is 15.5. That's the point here. And then I measured out the thigh measurement from the front as well, which is 13 inches, which is right here. And then I drew a curve to just connect the topmost part of that waistline to the crotch line. And I feel like I need to just redo this curve. It's not coming out as well as I want it to. So I'm just cleaning this off and I'm going to redraw this line. And there we have the curve of the back. Now remember I mentioned that this short is going to have a zipper at the back, so we have to add the zip allowance. I'll be using a zip allowance of 1 inch and drawing it all the way down, and then from the waistline I'll measure 8 inches 8 inches, and then I'll just connect it to the zip allowance at an angle like that. You could measure more than 8 inches if you want, by the way, but 8 inches works for me. So I'm just going to connect that as well. Now, next thing I'll do is I would measure the hem of the back. The hem of the back that we have here is 14 inches. So from this curve, this half-inch mark at the hem, I'm going to measure 14 inches on the hem line like that, and then I would connect this point at the crotch to the point at the hem with a curve. We are done with the drafting of the back pattern. So this is the back, and we'll be needing 2 pieces. Now I would mark out the back, and then I would draw out the seam allowances. And remember that I did not add a sewing allowance to the front pattern, and I mentioned that I was going to add it to the back. So on this back pattern, I'm going to be adding a sewing allowance of 1 inch on both sides, and this 1 inch is going to serve as the sewing allowance for both the front and the back. That means that when you are joining the fabrics of the front and the back together, you're going to be sewing with a sewing allowance of 0.5 inches. Basically, that 1 inch I'm adding to the back pattern is serving as the sewing allowance for the front and the back. So by the time you divide 1 inch into 2, you get 0.5 inch, which you will use to sew and join the front and the back pieces of fabric together. So I'm adding a sewing allowance of 1 inch. Okay, I should actually probably do that with my pencil. So I've added the 1 inch sewing allowance for this one, and now on this side it seems like the paper is quite short. I'll be marking out 1 inch there, then marking out the half-inch sewing allowance at the hem at the crotch. The sewing allowance for the crotch will start from where the zip allowance ends. So 0.5 inch at the hem, 0.5 inch at the crotch, and 0.5 inch at the waistline. I have added the allowances, so now I'm just going to cut it out. For the waistband, the length of the waistband would be my waist measurement, which is 25 inches, plus the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. So for both sides of the zip allowance, that's 2 inches. 2 inches, and in total I'll be cutting a length of 27 inches, and the width is going to be 4 inches in total. So my waistband is going to be 27 inches by 4 inches. For the cuff, the width is 1.5 inches. Like I explained earlier, it's going to be the exact same way I cut out the waistband. So the total width is going to be 4 inches, and then the length is going to be the length of the hem. The length of the hem for the front is 11 inches. For the back is 14 inches. So in total that's 25 inches, plus the sewing allowance I'm going to use to join it, 1 inch. So in total the length will be 26 inches for the cuff. So I'm going to have a width of 4 inches and a length of 26 inches for the cuff, and I'm cutting 2 of the cuffs, so times 2 for each leg of the shorts. 2 cuffs measuring 26 inches by 4 inches, and then the waistband. So we'll be going into the cutting of the fabric. To see how I achieved the finished look of the shorts, kindly click the link in the description box or click the link that is appearing at the top right corner of your screen. If this video has been useful to you, kindly give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the video.